Hello, thanks so much for being here. I wanted to make a video about shadow work. So, if you have been on the spiritual path for a while, you may have heard of this term. And for the longest time, I was so confused about what it was and if I was doing it and if I was doing it right. So I thought that I would just talk a little bit about what it is for me and how it works and how it's really helped me to shift and change my life in meaningful, visible ways. So, um, shadow work in essence is really looking at, witnessing the parts of ourselves that we've held in shadow, the parts that we've rejected and abandoned that are mostly subconscious. We're not really thinking about these parts or aware of them oftentimes. And letting them be seen and witnessed and loved. And it's in the light of our awareness and our compassion, they transform back into light. It's energetic alchemy. So I think the reason I was so confused about what this was for the longest time is because I was thinking, okay, if I'm holding anger or grief or one of these emotions that, as humans we see as lower emotions, then how do I bring it up to love it free? You can't necessarily sit there and just will these parts of you to present themselves. But what I realized eventually was that life is always a mirror. The outer world is a reflection of our inner world. It's the as above, so below, as within, so without. This is a quantum universe, and we are constantly having the outer world reflecting back to us what we're holding internally. So when we are triggered by someone or something in life, that's the information, that's the thing that lets us know, okay, something is behind that. There's a belief or a trauma or something I'm holding behind that is causing me to have a big reaction to this. And then when you start to see it this way, you look at that with curiosity and you allow these emotions or whatever is there to surface. And it's about meeting these moments in life with a level of conscious awareness. So, for example, if somebody says something to you that upsets you a lot, in the past, maybe you would have shut down and not spoken to them for a while, or maybe you would have retaliated and said something back, or any number of ways that we respond to things for what feels like our protection. But once you start becoming conscious about how this all works, rather than reacting in that way, you're going to get curious about, why did it upset me so much that person just said that? What am I holding or believing within me that is triggering me to be upset by that? Because we don't get upset about things if we don't believe them to be true or fear that they're true. And so it's this practice of, rather than just reacting and responding to life and allowing these wounds that we've buried throughout our life, that we hold within us, to constantly be creating these triggers that we're reacting to, you become empowered in realizing that the things that upset us and hurt us when we were little, when we didn't have the tools or the support to be able to handle it, and maybe the feelings felt too big or too overpowering, and so we stuffed them down, or maybe we were in a family dynamic where we weren't really given permission to emote or allow these feelings to express. Whatever the case, that part of you now is ready to be seen and acknowledged and loved. And it doesn't mean that you're getting into the story. It's actually just about meeting the emotion with your conscious awareness and loving that part of you. Just giving it love and acceptance, letting it be felt, letting it be heard. And the beauty of this is that what will happen over time is that you will start to recognize that you're not getting upset about things that you used to get upset about. You know, people can say things to you that would have offended you in the past and they don't bother you at all. And this is because you literally have taken a wound that you were holding and just transmuted it back into light, integrated that part of yourself into your wholeness. And that is really what this spiritual journey is about. We are answering this deep call within us to begin to integrate all of these parts of ourselves that, you know, throughout this lifetime and other lifetimes, we have felt were unlovable or unacceptable or rejected or abandoned them in some way. We haven't accepted these parts of ourselves because the wounded people in our lives and around us didn't accept us. And we are at this point now where we are beginning to come into our wholeness. So as we allow the shadow to rise within us, we make space for integrating more of who we truly are, more of our light. And as we begin to embody more of our light, we become magnetic to everything that we're here to experience. You know, life is actually meant to be joyful and fun and full of synchronicity and magic. That is our natural state. That's our true essence. But we've become so lost in the illusion of who we think we are, and all of these wounded people that are raising other wounded people and judging one another and lost in this idea of separation. This process is so powerful because the more light that you integrate, you reflect back to everyone around you, and it opens them to more of who they are. It, on a subconscious level, it's inviting them to embody more of their own light, to see something else that's possible. So not only is this work really powerful and beneficial for you, and you will honestly start to experience so much synchronicity and joy and fulfillment and deeper connections and just ease and flow in life as you bring in more of your light and release more of this shadow that's really not you. And as you do this, you start to magnetize people and opportunities, and you start to see the beauty all around you on such a deeper level. And this is how you really transform your life for the better. So don't be afraid of the days where you are feeling the lower emotions. It does not mean that you have done something wrong. You know, oftentimes on the spiritual journey, we think that we've moved beyond something. And one of the most valuable things that I learned is that healing is a spiral. And so we revisit things because a lot of these wounds run really, really deep. And it's like an onion, and you're peeling many layers of it. And as you're ready, you're getting to a deeper layer and a deeper layer. But every time you are expanding your light more and more, you're holding greater capacity for love and all of the beauty that comes with that. And you begin to see this not as this destination that you're trying to arrive at, but this beautiful unfolding of becoming more of who you are, embodying more of your light, and experiencing all of the magic and wonder and joy and fulfillment that comes with that. So I hope that this has given you some idea of what shadow work is, and there's so much more I could say about it, but yes, I thought I would just start here, and if you have any questions, I love your comments, so please don't hesitate to ask or share anything you'd like to about your process of shadow work, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. If you enjoyed this message, I ask that you could please like, because it helps the algorithm to show it to more people. And if you'd like to hear more messages like this, please subscribe and share if you think there's anyone that can benefit from these messages. All right. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.